Hi there, Leo. Welcome to your February reading. As always, you can use this for your rising sign, for your sun sign, and for your moon sign. This month, as always, I begin with meditation and channeled information. And the channeled information that I got for you was hope. And what I really like about this channeled information for you is that hope is less about sort of a feeling that you have inside, and it's more about a projection of where you want to be. Um, and and so like if we were talking about fear and we were talking about anger or stress, I would say that's sort of like reaction to stimuli around you, and you can avoid that. Hope is holding on to something beautiful that you want to have or that you aspire to be, and allowing that to be motivation. So what I really am saying with hope is find your motivation, find that thing that is going to make you wake up every morning and think, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm going to get there. And actually, even as I'm saying it, it's almost like the Dr. Martin Luther King speech, the infamous I Have a Dream speech, where he understood there was a lot of work to do. But he sort of set out, this is my dream of where we can all go. And so for you, I want you to sort of look at yourself, your life, and think about not where you're at, not of the frustrations or the disappointments or the great things. It's sort of like, all right, all of that is great. That's there. That's the foundation. But what's next? What's the purpose? Why are you going through this? So I want you to find that and allow that to be your anchor and allow that to be your searchlight when things get difficult. All right, let's go ahead and shuffle the cards and look straight at your February month to see what's coming through. For those of you that are new, I always structure this to include health, wealth, love, and destiny, as well as a catalyst card. We'll take a look at all of those as we get further into the reading. And I will pull each card up to the camera because I know these blend in with the table a little bit, so don't worry about that. Okay, so one more thing. Let's look at your catalyst. For those of you that are new, the catalyst card is two things I like to compare it to. First of all, just as it sounds, like in science, it's something that can create a reaction or that can amplify the energy of the month. It's also, I kind of see it as a keystone, something that holds everything into place. So what I see for you is a month of movement, not just movement, but there's going to be a chance for you to really embrace it, and this almost to me looks like a wormhole or a stargate. So if you're allowing yourself to really go for something that you love, you could actually catapult through and make tremendous progress this month. If not, what happens is you can feel like you're stuck. You're repeating the same process. So for some of you, there's going to be an opportunity to take a risk and really go for what it is that you've been hoping for. For others, it's going to be maybe it will take another month or two, but I see you getting in this cycle now where change is going to happen pretty quickly if you're going to welcome it in, or if you're willing to welcome it in. So your center card is the Hierophant. It's reversed. And typically that means moving away from structures that feel like they're suffocating. It's also a card where you can feel a little bit more liberated. So for those of you that work in like a really very commercial organization where everything you do is second guess and there's a lot of approvals and things like that, this card is indicating that it's time, or you're feeling ready to find something that allows more freedom, more liberty in your thought and your actions. I think that's what this mostly has to do with. Let's look at the other cards here in relation to that, and I'll get some more clarity on that. We have the Eight of Pentacles crossing it. The interesting thing for me is I usually love Eight of Pentacles. It's a card of growth, and it often means like whatever you put into it, you're going to get out of it. The interesting thing with the way this one's illustrated, though, is sometimes it can feel overwhelming. So Eight of Pentacles can come up when you decide you want to go for training or try something out of your comfort zone, and you maybe get, advice, on-the-job training, certification, or you go back to school. Usually there's some sort of knowledge absorption or acquisition. And what I see with this one, two notes come through. One is that for some of you, full immersion in that sort of knowledge base is going to be very helpful. So like, for instance, if you're learning a language, like language immersion may be great. Going for 2 weeks in a foreign country and speaking nothing but the language can be very effective. If it's just about deciding like I really want to learn everything I can about a certain style of cooking, then for a few weeks, then really live and eat and research that diet and see how it feels with your body and all of that. So this is a card of not delicately going into something, but really full on embracing everything there is to be had on this. So I would say go for it if you want to. Then sometimes that's the best method. As we look into your deep past, we have the the High Priestess in reverse. The High Priestess is an interesting card because it harkens to a few things. One, to intuition. And so you probably ended up making a few missteps last year by not tuning into your intuition. That's what this card normally means in the deep past. This is also a motherhood card, or a universal mother card. And what I see here is a need or desire to create better relationships, either if you are a mom with your children, or vice versa. Everybody has a mother. If your mother is living, having an opportunity to mend it. If your mother has already passed, then sending some healing thoughts and working through some of the karmic ties that you may have that weren't quite loosened and you still have to sort of release. So through meditation, that's a great way to do so. As we look at energy that's sort of really shaping up the first few weeks of the month, we have the Queen of Earth here, and that's actually a very good card. This is showing me prosperity. This is showing me new opportunity. It's a great time for many of you to start a new business or make an investment. And it's also a great time for those of you that have been putting in a lot of energy into something to start to see a return on it, to start to ask for, like, where are we at on this? So if you're a project manager, for instance, this is about really making sure that you see the delivery happen this month, okay? Your overarching card here is the Ten of Pentacles, and it's reversed. The interesting thing with this one is things are taking a lot longer for some of you when it comes to maybe your savings and getting the amount of money in your savings account, or maybe you're trying to get to a point where you can afford to buy a house or something like that. And I feel that it's almost a little bit lethargic. This is a very good card, though, even in reverse. What you need to do is probably be patient, wait a couple of months, you really need to allow the money to set up the opportunity, because financial freedom is freedom across the board. If you're not owing your time, energy, or like there's titles that belong to someone else, then you basically can do whatever you want. So I want you to save up and act according to what your finances will allow. Try not to step out too soon, even though you're energetically ready to make a change. That's why I think for some of you, there's going to be a need to sort of swirl around and wait a month or two. If you think of a drain, water going through a drain, it goes around and then eventually goes through. So just know that you're very close. I feel like you're very close to getting where you want to be. What I see here for the overall opportunity and energy this month here, we have a beautiful card, actually. It's the Father of Air, Father Sky here card. And with this one, there's a chance for you to, well, there's two things. One, I really want you to focus on how you're speaking, what you're bringing out to other people, as far as you may not even be aware of like tone of voice and nonverbal communication. So I want you to look at that and make sure that it's not coming across too critically or too aloof or too it just misread a little bit. So spend time thinking, read nonverbal communication of whoever you're talking to. See if they smile, see if they pull back a little, see if they're sort of like squinting their eyes. Really pay attention to the nonverbal cues. They're going to help you out. Your ego card this month is the Four of Swords, and it's reversed. And with the reversal of this card, I think your overall work situation is probably going to be picking up. And if you're not working, if you're like a stay-at-home parent or you're retired, it means that there's a lot going on in your schedule. So I really want you to take care of yourself and make sure that you're taking time to at least take a nap, or try to get caught up at least one night a week or 2 nights a week on your sleep if possible. With the Four of Cups in reverse in your environment card, what this is showing me is, for many of you, a feeling of compromise, or a feeling that things aren't exactly where you want them to be. And as I said, I'm really just seeing a 1 or 2 month phase on this, so try not to feel too mired down in the moment. The other thing is an unutilized sort of like a hidden opportunity, because the typical Four of Cups, you'll see something floating in the air, and the person's so focused, sort of like almost with horse blinders, that they're missing the opportunity. So Four of Swords and Four of Cups back to back like they are here, this is saying you're almost too busy and you might miss something, miss an opportunity, miss an important lunch, miss something that's going to provide an out. So try to stay awake and aware, and don't let yourself be too burdened by what's going on. We have the moon here in your fear area and your opportunity area. One thing that I see definitely with this is increased intuition, increased creativity, but also it's a little bit of a warning card whenever the moon comes up, particularly when it's in the fear department. This means that there could be some difficulties brewing in work relationships or even personal relationships. And if that's the case, you want to avoid a face-to-face conflict. You really want to not do that sort of a confrontation. You want to instead try to have the other person come on your territory, or have someone else mediate a bit so it's not coming just from you. The other thing is you can intuit, you can sort of figure out what someone is thinking and try to be sensitive. Heightened emotions this month. For those of you that are looking at fertility, because this can also indicate fertility, we have the Two of Wands reversed. So what I'm getting is really the first couple weeks could be tricky for that. So and also it could take a couple of months for those of you trying to start a family. So be patient with that. The other thing, and I've been getting Two of Wands a lot in many different decks. Two of Wands is a card of projection and planning. So the reversal means needing to take a second look at documents, at plans, at your intentions to make sure that you've covered everything and that there's no surprises. Okay, let's expand your forecast, and I'll leave the camera down for this portion. And we'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, and then I'll have a chance to review everything at the end. So don't worry if you missed part of it. All right, for your health, which includes mind, body, and spirit, the message this month is really to focus on not only drinking more water, but spending more time around water. Water is really great for meditation. A lot of times you will see and hear that in, in sort of like the sort of Japanese gardens or Zen gardens or sometimes meditative space. And there's a reason, because that element allows things to flow. What you can also do is take an Epsom salt bath, which will help. It's really relaxing for your body, but it's also great for removing negativity. So the card was reversed on this, which is showing me definitely focus on the hydration, but that's also why I mentioned salt. Watch your salt intake. And for those of you that are feeling like you need to sort of clear out your aura, take a salt bath. All right, so let's look at your wealth and career opportunities this month. It's interesting because this came up for another sign, also reversed. So with adversity, I really want you to be careful in the wealth sector. When it comes to maybe like a boss or a superior, you want to avoid unnecessary conflict. When it's constructive criticism from that superior, from a peer, you can listen to, but you don't have to sort of take personally that. Say, thank you, I'll take that under consideration or under advisement, whatever. Basically, you're just going to say, I'm going to listen, but try not to say, you're right, you're wrong, I'll do it, I won't do it. Say, wow, let me consider that. That's a great insight. And then take your time and then decide, do I want to do it or not? I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you to wait on judgment when it comes to things like that. All right, let's now look at your love situation. Love and relationships, I should say. Okay, so whenever I get this sign for relationships, this is actually, this can be a little bit about how you're projecting yourself a little bit to others. So again, there's a lot of opportunities for communication this month is what I'm getting. Miscommunication, sending out signals. The other thing is it is about reading body signals, so nonverbal cues. Look at someone and how they react, like if you give them a hug, or how they react as you're telling a story or as you're delivering your report at work or whatever, and pay attention. Are they bored? Are they intrigued? Are they rolling their eyes? If you're not used to looking at that, I really want you to pay attention to that. Sometimes it's even sound things. Like if you're talking to someone and they're, wow, that probably means they're tired of listening to you. Or if someone reaches out to sort of like grab your hand in excitement or whatever, they're really into this and really want you to understand what they're saying. So listen to those things, pay attention to that, because a sigh can mean more than 5 or 10 words that that person could say. Or, if they really open their eyes or they're really into it or you see them light up, that means the world. So pay attention to that. That's what's going to lead to positive strides at work. And then for your personal relationships, you can also sort of get to understand what someone's saying. They're going to be speaking more with nonverbal cues this month. So it'll help you in love and romance if you pay attention to that. Especially if you're getting mixed signals. If you get mixed signals, I would typically pay attention to nonverbal unless the signal is no. Like if someone says, I'm not interested or go away, listen to that. But if there's other things going on at work and they're saying, oh, I really love that, and they're rolling their eyes, they probably don't love it. So I really want you to pay attention to that. All right, for your destiny, listening for the truth, and that's kind of what we've been talking about here. Spending more time just listening to will be helpful. So you can actually let people talk themselves into exhaustion sometimes and learn more things than you ever would have anticipated. So before you speak, like count in your head 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and give an extra couple seconds so that person might be able to add something, and see how that works for you this month. All right, let's wrap up everything and summarize here. Your channeled information was hope. I really want you to project out and think about what it is you want and allow that to be your anchor and also your searchlight when things get difficult. Your catalyst this month was to, for those of you ready to take a risk or jump in, allow yourself to do it. For many of you, that might be like starting a new course or something like that. For the rest of you, know that you're very close to achieving what you want. Just stick with it. This card shows me that you're nearly there. As we looked at the center card here, I need to step away from too much restriction, and likewise to not be too restricting, because a Hierophant can be a little bossy sometimes. So you don't want to be too bossy of other people around you as well. We talked about the immersion, and this immersion can also sort of tie up to this card. So 8 of Pentacles means you could just go, head first into some sort of training session and get a lot out of it. Letting go of any sort of unhealthy relationships with your mother or with maternal people in your life, can also be a sister, older sister, or an aunt. Looking at basically taking money situations and capitalizing on them, and also making sure that everything's performing the way you want it. That's very important. Watching the way you speak this month. We talked a lot about verbal versus nonverbal. I want you to work on both and how you communicate to other people. Money situation, you have to be patient and allow it to dictate when you're ready. Don't miss an opportunity because you're too busy. Avoid confrontation this month when and if possible. And also I want you to look at long-term plans. We got the 2 of Wands in reverse here, so that really means looking at the big picture. As far as love situations go, there could be a Scorpio that comes into your life. The Moon card is often associated with that. The fact that it's under the 2 of Wands reversed and above the 4 of Cups reversed is really showing me that you want to be careful in that relationship. It could be a little tricky. For your health situation this month, drink more water, take more salt baths, and watch your overall sodium intake. The reversal on that is showing me that there's an imbalance. The reversal on your wealth card for adversity is saying that you want to be more receptive to constructive criticism and try to be careful about your own criticism of others. You want to avoid fights. For your wealth card, pay attention to what people are saying without words. There's a lot of that coming through this month. Their body language will speak more than their speech. And for your destiny card, spend extra time listening. Every possible juncture, just smile, pause, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then say, do you have any other questions, or is there anything else you wanted to say? And that's a nice way to segue into what you have to say. People are always appreciative if they feel like they're listened to and they're appreciated. All right, so Now let's just summarize here that I think your main thing this month, again, is to not be afraid. The Hope card is saying to keep an eye on the future and remember that things, as long as you stay positive, will be positive for you, or you're more likely to bring those positive things into your life. So that's everything for this month. If you'd ever like to have a personal reading and you want more information about your own health, wealth, love, or destiny, I offer those, and I'll put a link in the corner, or you can click on the little icon if you're on a mobile device. I guess you tap on it. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you. It's your support every month that makes this possible, so I really appreciate the likes, the subscribes, and all the comments. You can join me on social networks like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or my newsletter, in addition to subscribing here. Those are great ways to keep in touch. And if you found that this was really helpful and don't really want an appointment but just want to support the channel, you can also send a donation, and there will be a link for that as well at the end of the video. Otherwise, I just want to wish you guys the best of luck this month. It looks like things are manageable. A few things to think about, particularly with communication, but I think you guys are going to be fine. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again in about 30 days. Bye-bye.